Good evening, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the club call. James has just been hitting us with all his fresh beats, and it's taken Jacob to a different place. I won't tell you what place it's taken. Well, you find out you find out a lot about people in this when you're doing this job, and yeah, this fella over here has just destroyed this fella over here with some tunes.
Jacob's got tears.
It's taking looks out the business of commenting. So, right, here we go. It is the club call. The day after the night before, a horrendous performance. Let's be honest, a horrendous Everton performance at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Not for the first time. So let's have your feelings. Let's have your thoughts. Off the back of like a really, really good win at Fulham as well. That's what makes it really disappointing, isn't it? Off the back of a really good win. And then you get served up that nonsense last night and no subs. What's going on? I mean, what is going on with Everton? Jacob at home?
No idea. No, been here, haven't seen. Just seen crappy draws and losses. Yeah. No, it's not fun. Let's just play away every week. I don't care.
We can't play away, though, can we, every week? You know, that's not the solution. We have to find a solution to this issue, which is not being able to beat very, very average football teams at home.
Yeah.
Which is basically, you know, apart from Arsenal, in the last 2 months, we've been beaten by very, very average football teams. You know, we've been more than that. Spurs, Newcastle, you know, Brentford,
but then it's
Bournemouth,
the Wolves, Leeds, which
then draws against Leeds, draws against Wolves, like bang average football teams.
Yeah.
That we should be, that we don't even walk away going, we played really well there.
Yeah.
There's like the amount of games that we've played well at Hill Dickinson Stadium, genuinely, I could cut off 2 of my fingers and you know, then I could say it's on one hand.
Yeah.
It's simply not good enough.
No, it isn't, and it has to change.
Right, let's get into it then. We've got Eddie on the line. I imagine he's in Texas, being all Texan and stuff. Like a massive Texan. I can't hear him.
What's up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear him. Now he's gone full Eddie.
Full Eddie? That's interesting.
And they say never go full Eddie, but you just have.
Dang, that's crazy. Well, so it'll be a pretty quick call for me. I have a meeting in like 20 minutes. So, what I was gonna say? Oh yeah. So yesterday's game was very frustrating. I felt there was just a lack of substitutions in crucial moments, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which is like I don't know why, and it's weird because like James Tarkowski talked after the game where it's like we just have like this weird like aura or vibe that like we can't win at home right now because I don't think we've won in 2026 at Hill Dickinson, right?
No, the last time we won a game at Hill Dickinson was the 6th of December.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like I don't like there was a lot of positives from the first half, I would say, and the second half there was some good, but a lot of bad. Like we just crumbled, and I don't understand how we can see 2-headed goals when we have 3 guys that are center backs playing in our back line. Like that makes no sense. Like
fair point, yeah.
We have 6'5", what is it? 6'5", 6'3", and 6.
Yeah, we've essentially got the monsters playing in our back line.
Yeah, that's what the American commentary like. They were basically saying like you guys have giants in the back, and I was like, yeah. So it was very frustrating to see. I think I found it interesting though to see George start. I thought it was a good move by Moyes because he's trying to be more aggressive, and like you can tell George is more direct in the way he plays. He just I feel is a lot of it. He's a lot more loose with the ball than I thought he would be, or he gets pushed off the ball a little bit more
Yeah,
easier.
he wasn't very strong, was he?
No.
Yeah. So I guess my question for you is like with this week that we have off, basically, what type of changes do you think Moyes would make, if any, or do you expect the next game that we have on Monday, we're gonna have Jake O'Brien playing right back, and maybe the only change would be seeing Armstrong instead of George?
Well, I mean, we can't have Jake O'Brien playing in the next game, can we?
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
obviously
that's true. I forgot. Yeah.
So obviously he got sent off, so that's not going to happen. But, for me, I would take Idrissa out the team.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I wouldn't have Idrissa in the team. I think we need a different makeup in the midfield. I think James Garner, I felt like he did really well when Idrissa wasn't there in the games against Forest and the games against Villa. I thought he done really, really well without Idrissa sort of taking up his space. Dewsbury Hall, Dewsbury Hall didn't really play without it, but I thought he benefits from playing a little bit deeper. So that would be, the right Nathan Patterson coming in at right back, and certainly Idrissa maybe going out the side for, I don't know, probably Harrison Armstrong maybe. But that would probably be that they would be obviously one's enforced 100%. Jacob?
I mean, completely agree. Idrissa, the only thing, just playing devil's advocate, the only reason why I wouldn't keep Idrissa, but the only reason why I would maybe is man-to-man marking with Bruno Fernandes. That's the only reason why I would. You just tell Idrissa to just follow him,
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of. But if it was up to me, I'd take Idrissa out and move to flat 3. I'm not a fan of this number 10 when we don't have a number 10.
Yeah.
Well, we do,
Would you
but he's
bring
on the
Roll
bench.
back in, or would you bring Harrison Armstrong back in?
I'd play Harrison Armstrong, but I definitely think we should use more of our bench.
Yeah.
So that means Merlin Roll come on, or the other way around. He starts and Armstrong comes off from the bench. But I think if players aren't doing it, they need to come out the team.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case for Idrissa.
I think Idrissa definitely should have gone off last night. He should have been the two
He looked tired.
But the subs after we conceded though were absolutely, they were terrible subs, and they shouldn't have happened. Go on.
I think you can see how bad Beto is with hold up play. Like Barry did not have a good game, but we lost a lot more attacking composure, I feel, when he came off. Because Beto just couldn't hold the ball. Like we would be in dangerous areas, the ball would bounce to Beto, and then he would lose it. And I know he's known for late goals, but I just don't think he works when you're trying to pressure a team. He's more of the other team's still very open, and he can get you a goal that might tie or might win it late on if both teams are trying to go for a win. Not really.
I think obviously those subs were made obviously at 1-1, and we still had 11 men on the pitch, so it's different. But I just think once we went down to 10 men, he wasn't the right person to have on the pitch, because he doesn't really give you that player to play off when you need to get into those areas. So
Would you have moved George to the middle if?
I don't know. I'd have left George where I wouldn't have took George off. I don't think he was. I think he wasn't strong enough, but at the same time, I certainly wouldn't have replaced him with Harrison Armstrong with half an hour to go. Certainly after they've equalised when you need another goal. I mean, it just didn't make sense. The substitutions didn't make any sense last night. And the substitution, it's hard to say when you said then about Merlin Roll. It's we haven't seen Merlin Roll since the Villa game when he played well.
Yeah.
So it's hard to make it's hard to say, well, he should get a go, or players aren't getting a chance to impress because the manager's not bringing them into the side. I can't for the life of me understand last night why once it went 2-1 and once we went down to 10 men, we only made one more sub, and that was Michael Keane.
In the 90th minute?
And what does that say about Beto if you've got to bring Michael Keane on up front? But what does that say about like the other players sitting on the bench, that they can't influence the game, or the manager doesn't believe they can influence the game?
Imagine you're forward and he brings Michael Keane on instead of you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And I know the manager's got the right to say to everybody else, well, I picked the team and you don't see them in training, blah, blah, blah. But how are players ever going to really develop if they're not given chances? Like the likes of, as I said, Harrison Armstrong could have gone, Idrissa could have gone off at 2-1. Harrison could have gone into the centre of midfield, and Diblin could have gone wide. Or, you know, or Njai could have gone off because he didn't have a particularly great game. Or he could have gone off. Like, the manager's got lots of options. He could have took like Tarky off and just said to James Garner, sit further deeper. James Garner go a little bit deeper, and because he can tackle and he reads the game really well. And we'll bring Carlos Alcaraz on. Like, you could have done that with 10 minutes to go. Like, I just didn't get it last night.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess the last thing to end it off for me is,
go on, mate.
I'm not super surprised we lost to Bournemouth, because I feel Bournemouth is just our bogey team, and like no matter what, I feel like at least the last 3 or 4 years, like they're just like they're gonna win, or like it's just inevitable. Like it's them and Manchester United are the two teams I don't think like Everton in recent history have done well against for no reason. Like, we should have won, I think, last year against Manchester United. We should have beat Bournemouth when we were winning 2-0. And, like, we just find ways to lose or draw the games. So maybe we're just cursed. And, like, it's just bound to happen.
Maybe that's just it. We're just cursed. Maybe we built our ground on another Indian burial site or something.
It has to deal something with, like, the distance transfer to Bournemouth, maybe, this time.
Maybe.
And Tom Cleverley, they cursed us somehow with coming over to Everton, or Morgan Schneiderlin, one of those. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fellas, have a good one.
Nice one, Eddie. See you later, my mates. Take it easy. Right,
Bye.
We've got Johnny. Getting Johnny on. Go on, Johnny.
Yeah, me, yeah.
Yep.
The last caller sort of answered some of the questions what I was going to sort of say, but it's frustrating, the home record, isn't it? We've got 6 home games, 6 away games. It's worrying that I feel more confident going away to Arsenal than I do playing Burnley at home. It's, it's not great, but there yesterday, the substitutes for me were diabolical. You know, I know Barry wasn't playing very well, really, in front of goal. You know, we had the chances, but as soon as you put Beto on, you're on 10 men. He can't control the ball. He doesn't run. Well, he does run, but he falls over his own legs. You know, do you think we missed a big opportunity in January to get another striker in? You know, they're saying, it's hard to get people in, it's hard this, but other clubs do it, don't they? Look at Bournemouth for that lad on the wing yesterday.
Yeah. No, I think we missed a massive opportunity to if we could have got rid of him and got someone in, I would have. I just don't understand how anyone believes this lad is a Premier League striker. I know 12 months ago we had a nice little purple patch, but I watch him as an actual footballer and he's just not it.
No.
He just hasn't got what it takes to be a Premier League footballer. Like, you watch Barry and you can see glimpses of what it's going to take to be a Premier League footballer, and he's frustrating because he does sometimes, you need him to just hold the ball up and it bounces off him, and then other moments you see him do something really well to keep the ball and play it around the corner. So he's but Beto just isn't it, and he'll never be it. And for me, we should have cut our losses last month and got rid of him and brought in somebody else for 6 months on loan. And the fact that the manager brought him on for half an hour last night, Barry wasn't having a brilliant game, but he was still finding himself, I thought personally, in positions where if he'd done a little bit better, he could have scored. And you can blame him for that and say, that's a bad miss. But there's always that thing of, well, at least he was there to miss.
Yeah.
Beto doesn't even get there to miss. For me, I don't believe he's a Premier League level striker. I really don't. But sometimes I just think that's the Yeah, I just think that's what the football club sort of revel in. You know, I was at the ground and I'm sitting there and on the screens they've got Umar Niasse on the pre-game show, and I'm just sitting there going, this fella was absolutely garbage for us, and yet we treat him like some kind of hero. And I honestly, all these things bear my head out. We swapped genuine legends of the football club to absolute no-marks that we paid a fortune for and didn't contribute anything. Okay, scored a couple of goals. And I feel like at times we revel in that the underdog thing. No, let's say it like it is. These players are not good enough, and we should just be getting rid of them as fast as we can. And yet we have this thing at Everton where we keep hold of these players for like 3-4 years. And I said, what are you doing? Get rid of them. They're not good enough.
Yeah.
Ship them out. So for me, I just think it's like a culture. The culture has not changed at Everton
People's
Football Club.
standards have dropped, and you have to move people on. I think that's one of the... People are talking about Dwight McNeil.
Yeah.
This guy's been here for like 3 years, and he wanted to leave. Why are people so obsessed with him?
It's a culture. It's the same culture with like Michalenko. It's like, it's clear as day that the lad is not good enough to be starting for a Premier League team that has aspirations of playing in Europe. And yet it's like you get people who go, oh no, has he become the whipping boy? Has he? It's like, no, I've got eyes, and I can see that if Everton wants to go on, you have to move on. As Jacob just said, it was the same with Dwight McNeil last week. It was like, oh, we all need to get round him. Why? No, we don't. He wanted to leave Everton Football Club, and he got a cob on because it fell through. For me, I don't want to ever see the lad again in an Everton shirt. That's done.
I wouldn't even put him in the squad.
That's it. It's done. And it's like when the opportunity comes to replace Michalenko, you should be like, shake his hand and go, well, you can either be the backup left back or you move on to another football club. There's too much of this sentimentality for bad footballers at our club, and it's part of the culture. Everton tweeting the next day, oh, come back in, lad. No, fuck.
I've not worked.
Don't get it.
I've not worked a day in my life, and I know that in the real world, when you're not good enough for a job or when your time's up, they shake your hand, goodbye, and they bring the next person in.
Yeah.
Don't even shake your hand, they just get rid of you.
There you go. And in this professional football club, people they're so over sentimental. Yeah. And I'm just like,
bang average.
Bang average players as well. I'm just like
you were saying, Barry was getting in the right places last night, wasn't he? Yes, he wasn't great in front of goal, but at least he's young, his first year in the Prem, a little bit lightweight, needs to gain a bit of muscle and that. But he's getting there. Maybe if he'd stayed on for another 10, 15, 20, he might have actually got one of them.
But I thought sorry, Jake, I was just going to say, I thought his reaction was really telling when he got took off. It was like,
devastated.
I was just getting into this game, and I didn't think. This is another thing with Moyes. It's like the problem. He's not necessarily the problem. He doesn't get enough chances, but you can see he's starting to get into the right areas. One of those chances, if he gets another one, he's got the desire. You could see he had the desire for the next one.
Yeah, he was getting in, to the one that comes off the keeper, he should score. But at least he got there. I bet you 10 to a penny, better wouldn't have got there. He just wouldn't have reacted. The one across the goal, he's going in the right direction. He's just not getting that look, is he?
Yeah.
And
Beto, just like McNeil, has been here for a couple of years, and he's not done it. He had 6 games where he did okay. You have to shake their hand and say, if you want to move forward. Barry's been here for 4 or 5 months. Just...
Yeah. I think he'll come good. I think, over the summer they'll bulk him up like they did with Calvin. He's still young. He's got more about him. I think he will come better.
Ultimately, right, we've only got 2 strikers, and one of them has been in the Premier League for 5-6 months, and the other one's been here for 3 years, is it? And he's 28. Like, there's only one of these 2 players who is moving in the right direction. Listen, we don't know what Barry's going to become. We don't know whether we'll get the finished article or whether he'll always have rough edges. We don't know that right now, and I think it's too early to make that judgment on him right now. I think he needs games. I think he needs to go through the ups and downs, and like you just said, he needs to build that strength. He's far too, for someone who's like 6'5", he's far too like. He doesn't look like he's 6'5" to me. He's got to bulk up. He's got to become a bigger athlete. But the signs are much more encouraging than Beto. And I just think to bring Beto on with 30 minutes to go, I found that astonishing last night.
The subs in general were poor, weren't they?
I was going to say, coupled with Harrison Armstrong coming on the left was mad. Idrissa Gana Gueye was the sub to go off last night. Everyone in that ground could see it. Everyone could see it. Everyone, we're not stupid. We all know.
And then to take George off, Diblin should have been your man. He's obviously not doing something, but give him a chance.
Yeah.
He's not going to get better if he doesn't get chances, and he will have poor games, but you've got to back him, haven't you?
Absolutely.
And the other one was...
Go on, mate.
At the beginning of the season, if someone had said, we'll be 8th, 12 games to go, we'd have probably bit people's hands off for it, wouldn't we?
I would have, mate. I would have, and I'm not gonna rewrite history. I think I put down something like 50 to 54 points for us this season, and if we keep going the way we're going, we'll be there or thereabout. The problem is, it's like everything else, isn't it? It's like you can put a number out, or you can say what you think at the beginning of the season, but this Premier League is garbage. It's absolutely garbage. And suddenly, because the bar's being lowered from a standard point of view, then I don't think any of us should sit there and go, well, I don't know, this is not the point you're trying to make, by the way, but I don't think anyone should sit there and go, well, we're 8th, we're doing really, really good, and that's excuse a result like last night. Last night was an opportunity to go to 6. Now, that might have only been for 24 hours, but it would have kept us away, obviously, from Bournemouth, bit of room from Fulham, go a bit above Brentford above Brentford, and getting away from that pack of teams below us and getting ourselves towards the higher pack. And now we're very much just stuck in that pack, and other teams have got an opportunity to go above us tonight. And every time we seem to have that opportunity to get away from those teams, we essentially bottle it. And I think that's where people should be able to go, yeah, we're 8th, but that was still a terrible performance. But listen, if we end up finishing 8th, then it will be a good season.
Yeah, no, it is finishing 8th's a good season, and it is frustrating to not get that pack. But we're just not quite good enough as a squad, are we? We need the left back, we need the right back, we need another winger.
But I've seen someone saying on one of the social medias, basically people think we're going to get Europe and we're ending the game with Keane, Beto up front and Michalenko at left back. I'm paraphrasing, but you can understand how people 100%. You can understand, can't you? Because we are, when people say about why are we different from home and away, it's because at home we don't have fullbacks, and fullbacks are hugely important in the game now. Look at their fullbacks last night.
I was about to say, yeah.
Their fullbacks were really, really high. When we played Brentford, their fullbacks were really, really high. Yeah. We have a centre-back. We have essentially two... I think Michalenko is like a centre-back playing left-back. I really do. Yeah. He doesn't want to go
Moyes was
past...
one of the first to have the wingers who were mint like that, going forward, attacking. And we were also good at set pieces and crosses, where we're absolute pants saddle now. We can't defend them.
No. Can't defend straight diagonal balls into the box.
We just can't, and it's mental.
I think ultimately with this team, it's you're only as good as your weakest point, and I think that's what's shown with Everton. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's for some reason at home, not away, but some reason at home, we can't pull it together where it's we get through these tough moments. Because last night at 1-1, the manager shouldn't have made a sub, and the senior players on the pitch should have went, calm this down for 5 minutes. Get the ball down, calm it down, and in 5 to 10 minutes, we'll go again. Let's just get through 5-10 minutes. Nothing stupid. Well, we go and concede another goal, and we get a man sent off. Because it's because we bring 2 subs on, and then there's the team's not balanced, and there's a franticness about no, there's half an hour left. Calm down.
Just chill,
calm down. We'll step it up. Have a think about the subs. So I think that's partly on the manager as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely partly on Moyes there, and that's the 20-25% frustrating part of the lad, isn't
Absolutely,
it? He's always done it since day one.
Yeah.
That 25% is growing for me, though. It's turning into 30. Oh,
Fair enough.
Just if we give him the players in the summer, though, he will push us on again next year. This is the other thing people need to understand. Like, we've been in a bad situation with poor managers, and he is a good manager. He just has that slightly annoying part about him.
Yeah. You can be massively frustrated with your manager without saying, I want him sacked.
Yeah,
you know
100%.
what I mean? You know, you can be frustrated with your manager, and rightly so. The manager walked into the press conference last night and looked like he'd just been told off by his mum and dad. He really did. He was like, they were asking him questions and he was going, don't know. He was like, don't know. That's the referee. It was like, it was so childish because he was obviously fuming, but he has to play his part in that. So, yeah.
Sam, boys, I'll let you go.
Nice one. See you
Catch
later.
Bye.
James Graham says 35 for me now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Day Owen says the players and the fans are terrible in the new ground. Well, then it's all the fans, then, isn't it? But Everton need to come together with the fans and sort this out. Have we got someone waiting? No. Everton and the fans need to forge an identity, don't they, this new ground?
Yeah. But I think one plays a hand with the other, you know?
Yeah.
If Everton start performing at home, then the fans will start to...
See,
I don't think it works the other way around.
I agree, but I think it's more than that, though. I do think it's more than that. I think that it's been a massive combination. At the amount of people I see sort of my age or a little bit younger who really don't like this ground.
Yeah.
People who maybe are in like their mid-30s to late 40s really don't like this ground or what this ground is. And the main things I see is it's not atmosphere. It's more to do with like the makeup of the people in the ground.
Yeah.
Like the way, you know, the way it's made up within the ground. Obviously, travel is a big part of it, and 7:30 kickoffs just need to be legged. Honestly, they just need to be legged. They're just a joke. You don't feel like you're going the game as a like. Don't get me wrong. I hate these things about football matches being events.
Yeah.
Football matches aren't events.
No.
They're not concerts, and they shouldn't be concerts. And I know to some people they are one-off events, especially if you travel from somewhere around the world or whatever. I get that, but I feel like we were talking before, weren't we? And we were getting told, we were on the live area. We'd done the final word, and we were being told about people while the game was on. People standing up with their backs to the pitch, getting selfies while the game was on.
Well, he said last minute as well.
Last minute when we're getting beat.
Yeah.
Like, what's you know what I mean? Like, what is that about? Like, it's not. Again, it's not a day out, and I think our fans who do come on those one-offs are educated to understand that.
Yeah.
So I don't understand who these fans are.
No.
Because this is something, I've said this before. It's like we had this tradition of Goodison, and it was like the last. We hadn't sold our soul in many ways. We were one of the last teams to still have the traditional, and we bought into all the old traditions of football.
Yeah.
And we all love Saturday 3:00 kickoffs and all that kind of thing. And we've gone from that to like not only a new ground, but all of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So we're having all these night games, all these Monday games, our 7 kickoffs. People are rushing to get to the game. They're parking up, and then the police and the council suddenly decide they're going to bring parking tickets out, and all kinds of people got parking tickets yesterday. Now, when you park, looking for somewhere to park and it's dark, you might. I know someone who got a ticket yesterday who's got a blue badge, disabled blue badge, They parked on double yellows, but because it was dark, they didn't see the 2 other yellows, which basically means it's a loading space, which means you can't park there because it's dark and people are rushing around and they're trying to get to the game. Yeah. And it's all this stuff. The travel is ridiculous. They still haven't solved that. As much as as much as Steve Rodden will say, it's working to capacity, unless it's not working. No. And all this builds up and builds up. And when you get into this part of the season and people still don't see an atmosphere at the ground and they still see what they regard as maybe like non-Everton match day going stuff. Yeah. It frustrates them.
Yeah, I mean, I had a quick chat with people around me and they said, these Monday kickoffs, they get back from work, they're, long shift, they're tired, and then they have to go to the game, then they have to get home, and people, I'm sure there's a lot of other people like that, and then maybe they don't feel like they don't have the energy to like lift the crowd and stuff, and I just... When you move into a new stadium, you want to make things as convenient as possible. And these games in the dark, I mean, Baz was saying earlier, it's just, you can't remember what it looks like when it's just when it's dark every time.
But it's not just about winning games of football, by the way.
No.
It's not about winning games of football as such. It is about creating, as we said in the title, it's about creating an identity. And I feel like literally what's happened is, like, people can say we had a bad record at Goodison, and we did over the last few years, right? And I totally get that. But it was a bad record in spite of the atmosphere, which wasn't always perfect, but the atmosphere and the 1878s doing their bit. I just feel like, in many ways, we've gone to this new ground, and it's almost like you sort it out, like the fans, you sort it out, like, and I just feel like with a little bit more planning, and this is all in hindsight now, I appreciate this, that all the people who got split up because of the season ticket stuff didn't need to be split up. Like, they didn't need to be. No, really, nobody. If you're in a group and you had 23 and a couple of them had, like, I don't know, because they were kids, had like 12, 13. Yeah. The club should have just said, nah, the average of you is 23, so you all go in so we can keep together. And I think there's stuff like that. I think people should have been allowed to have seen the ground, seen the seat. Because I think a lot more people might have decided, I don't want to go in that south stand. That upper is huge. I don't want to go up there. I'd rather go in the north stand. But almost from the videos and stuff, the north stand didn't seem like as good, but I think the north stand's fine. Yeah, I really do. I think the lower should have been more consideration of who's going in the lower. Yeah, I think there's so much stuff that needs to be learned from, and I think Everton really should come together with the fans and have a bit of an amnesty about like seats, where they basically go, right, we're gonna do it. If you don't like your tickets, let's start again. And if people decide, what, we can start again. We've all seen where
just like a trial year.
First year was a trial. No one's gonna lose. When I say this, I mean no one's gonna lose their seat. Yeah. But what I mean is, if enough people go, nah, I don't like it where I sit. Yeah. Then people who are sitting on the other side might go, well, you don't like yours and I don't like mine. Let's just swap. Yeah. I think that's something, because there's definitely large areas of the pitch, of the ground, where people could be sitting together, and people might go, well, tell you what, we can get 10 of you in that area over there. How about that? And people might go, yeah, because actually I've seen that area, I don't mind it, because I don't think anyone's like tied to their area.
No, not yet. That comes over time. So they, if they change it now, I'm sure that'll be good. But I think, the club maybe could have also said, new stadium, people are figuring it out. Let's not put a game in the evening. Because I would have maybe liked if the club went, okay, we'll put as many 3 o'clock kickoffs.
It's not there.
Get the money.
It's just not there. It's just not their. They won't. It's just not their choice.
No.
To not have a like TV is just king now, and that's just the end of it. There's just like nothing. There's nothing you can do about that, sadly. But I just feel like ticketing definitely. And the other side of it is something's got to be sorted out with the actual ticketing as well. We haven't had a sellout. Like, how on earth? And I know you could say, all right, that maybe the away allocation's not taken all the time. But we all know we're not stupid. We see all the empty seats, and last night there was empty seats everywhere.
Yeah.
And people are putting their tickets up for sale and they're not selling. And one of the reasons is because Everton are adding extra money to it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. That never used to happen.
Yeah.
You used to put your seat up for sale for whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And you might go, I can't go tonight. You know what? I'll just take 20 quid for my ticket.
Yeah.
And someone comes on, gets your ticket for 20 quid. Now it's the price of the ticket plus whatever, and then it doesn't sell. Why doesn't it sell? Because it's a £65, £70 ticket on a Tuesday night against Bournemouth when it's pissing down.
Yeah.
And people are like, nah, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
So I think that's 100% that needs to be sorted out. And the other thing I think massively needs to happen is there needs to be just add an extra 1,000 season tickets. So people can start saying, right, I've got a season ticket and I know I'm going every single game. So
it's all a bit crap.
Yeah. And also, right, these are the other things that make me laugh, is when people who don't go to the game, who go, why aren't you singing? Or why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you necking? Right, because the people who go to the game, they're there every single week. I've heard this for years from people about, when at Goodison, it's like the atmospheres are terrible. Why don't? Because we're there, and it's not like people do try and get songs going, and it just doesn't, because of the size of the ground and because the stands are not like almost like individual. Yeah, it's so weird, but you just can't seem to keep an atmosphere going. It almost feels like the ground is like it's not conducive for like keeping songs going. It's so strange. It's really difficult to put your finger on. But that's like I don't know. I don't know how you change that. I don't know. I just know if you try and get the basic stuff right. Like Baz was talking about it before, and he was like, I go there. And he was like, it feels soulless to me because it's all grey concrete and there's like, it feels unfinished. And it's like, and it's all that stuff of like, you look up and you see like the ceiling is like all metal bits and wires. And he's like, it just creates this thing of like, I don't really want to be here. So I can't be arsed singing and all that. It's very strange.
What the club should think about is, I like what you said, where you just, people have their seat if they want to keep it, but just restart completely. Yeah. And the ones that want to sing and want to create atmosphere go into the lower south. Yeah. So that already creates, and then keep the people, like you said, I'm sure, have you been split up from people that you were?
Yeah, I've got me dad and my sister and my nephew.
Put them back together, put people together with other people they're comfortable with.
And what's funny is, right, where I sit, there's now a seat empty every game because the person who sits there was split up from their people, from the people. So I don't know whether now where they sit, there's somebody not sitting by them because they're sitting. Yeah. Because another thing that happens all the time in a game, and I'm sure you might have seen, well, we talked about this, didn't we, yesterday? The other thing you get all the time now is people ringing up their friends going, there's an empty seat here. There's no one here. Come and sit down. Yeah. Come and sit here. Yeah. So surely there is a way of the club that could sit down and go, right, we know all these people are not happy. Let's offer them something. Let's have a ticket amnesty where it's like, do you honestly like where you sit? And loads of people will go, no, not really. Because I know loads of people in that upper south. There's a lot of like older people
Yeah.
who were sitting right at the back, and
I walked up those stairs yesterday.
exactly,
Oh.
and I guarantee if you were
Yeah.
to offer them something different, they go,
Yeah.
actually, I'd probably take that.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. But I think if the club wants change, it has to come through them. They have to, or like meet the fans in the middle of,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try and offer you this, and this. People get put back together. People get to sit, now that they've seen and experienced the season, they get to sit where they want to sit, and then it's up to the fans. But yeah, right now, I mean, people are unhappy, and people are unhappy for a reason,
And it's not going away. These are the things that we've been talking about since the first 3 or 4 games of the season. Don't get me wrong, a lot has improved in the ground, but I think this season, what I think is really important about this season, right, is don't waste this opportunity.
Yeah.
Take this year as a test case.
Yeah. And
on
to
the
learn.
ground, and
Yeah.
take all that information and go right, but start the process soon, because obviously the season ticket renewals will be out soon. Start the process soon so that we can all, so the club can go, actually, we have heard yous, and we do believe that we could do this a little bit better. So let's do it better. Don't just go. Don't bury. No one
should get ahead of the problem.
No one should be burying their head in the sand and going, there isn't a problem. There's clearly, the atmosphere at this ground are woeful, absolutely woeful. And don't get me wrong, a lot of it comes from what's happening on the pitch, because what's happening on the pitch is the players haven't quite settled in terms of an identity on the pitch. They don't know which way to play. We have an identity away from home, but we don't have an identity at home. And we're sort of stuck in some, we want to play fast, we want to play passing football, but we don't know how to play quickly.
Yeah, it's not our strength. So
players don't move.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching Bournemouth plays last night and they were all just moving, and every time they played a pass, the play was in space. When we play, the player always seems to be marked, and then they just pass it sideways or pass it backwards because the players are not good enough. And so the atmosphere doesn't get going. And then you have all the other problems, like people going down early for half time, coming back. And then, like we've said about loads of times, people have no issue getting off early of this ground, because they're just like, well, if I go now, I'll get home 40 minutes earlier than if I waited 10 minutes.
Yeah, no. There were people around me. All right, see you in a few weeks, 20 minutes left.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Where's Fletch?
Now should we be worried?
I'm worried. Where's Fletch?
Might be having his tea.
Emma says, do the owners care? Have they even showed their faces yet? I don't know. Well, they haven't shown their faces, have they? And that would be, again, something that if I was Angus Kinnear, I'd be on the phone to him saying, listen, you need to come to a game, because it would just be good PR if you were here. Do they care? I don't know.
Time will tell.
I don't know. Whether they care. I don't know I don't know how they view the football club in terms of what they want for the football club. Is it just part of their portfolio, and it just runs itself, and Angus Kinnear is in charge? If that is the case, that's just the way it is, isn't it? I don't know whether they'll be the ones pushing for bigger and better things. Well, if they're pushing for bigger and better things, get us bigger, better things, then get us Adidas as our kit maker. Do you know what I mean? Get the sponsor's going to have to be announced soon, isn't it? Well, it doesn't have to be, but
when's the Castora deal?
The Castor is multi-year, but Stake.
It's going soon. Yeah.
And if Everton are going to put it on whatever kit they wear, the kits next season, it's going to be printed. It's going to be needed to be printed on it soon. Yeah. So therefore, that's going to be announced soon. So that you would imagine that would be a pretty big deal. So they'd want that big. I imagine. I'd like to think that the owners want everything bigger and better. So that means kit, as I said, a kit deal with someone like Adidas or one of the top or whoever's. But if Castor are paying the money, then so be it. But it's just a case. It's a case of I I don't think anyone's sitting there going, I'm sure some people do, going like, we don't like the ground. It's just, it's all the circumstances around the ground, isn't it? It's all that stuff we just talked about. Travel, all of the night games are just so frustrating.
Yeah, it's
like, you want to at least go the game in the light.
The last one was Sunderland, and that wasn't even afternoon. That was lunchtime.
12:15 kickoff,
and that was great because you'd go home and you'd have sunlight, you know. And I don't know. It's not the end of the day. People aren't tired. People were fresh. People were ready, you know. And that's just the feeling I've gotten from recent weeks from these night games. People are.
It's again, that's another thing, isn't it?
Which, like, fair enough as well.
That's another thing. People have worked all day and then they go to the game and you want them to be like sort of full of energy and it's just people aren't like that. I don't know. English fans also have been like conditioned to just sit and watch games of football because we've had fully seated stadiums for so long now, and I think that's weird. Like the thing with the safe standings, a little bit of a novelty is like people end up, I think, sort of going, oh, I just want to sit down, because they're so used to sitting down. And again, that's that thing of like, if you want to sit down, go and sit somewhere else. Don't be in the standing area.
That's where the club really needs to
That's where the club really needs
look at all of that,
the people who want to be singing and want to get the atmosphere going, because that was the thing at Goodison. You always knew the Gladys Street, you know, GT4, GT5, GT3, they were going to be the places that started the atmosphere, and then that would fill the Gladys Street, and that would might ripple into other places, but that alone was enough. Whereas the South Stand, it's just not working. And I think, as I said, the club have an opportunity right now to sort that out and get into the nitty gritty of what isn't working. So it'll be interesting to see. It's just, I just know for a fact that quite a lot of people just don't like going to match. And the thing about it, if you don't like going to match, the next thing is you'll stop going to match.
Yeah.
And people can go, oh well, there's a waiting list. Well, do you trust Everton to? I don't. If Everton can't fill this stadium, and apparently we've got 25,000 on a waiting list, how are we not filling a stadium with that many people?
Yeah.
So I don't really trust them to replace the people who are there now, in many ways. No. But we'll wait and see. And as I said, I'm not someone who like needs the owners to be at the ground.
No,
I'm not really that bothered.
No, I don't get what when people say that, I don't really get why it matters. You know, they could come to the ground and not care, but they could be on their boat in America and care a lot. You know, I don't see where. But anyway, come on, Fletch.
Where's Fletch? Jez D says if identity is a fancy word for means objective approach to winning the game, then yes, it's missing that. Truth is, we can see the issues, but Moyes is the manager and does what he wants. David Gilbert says we need to change the squad. It's not balanced at all. Need to play Patterson and Asnew with O'Brien and Branthwaite. Drop Garner and play Armstrong. Yeah, I mean, the Asnew one's a funny one, isn't it? Because I do trust Moyes enough that if he doesn't believe a player is good enough, if he's not good enough to be on the bench, then I think you've got to trust your manager enough on that point of view, haven't you? I mean, we can do. I suppose it's how far you take it, isn't it? We can discuss subs and all the rest of it, but if the manager hasn't give this lad any time in the Premier League, and now he's not even making the bench, then surely that tells us that certainly physically he's not ready.
No, we don't see them every day. He does, you know, and he has a style of play which is to be solid, and that means you have to be physically ready. You know, I mean, we saw George yesterday. He was a bit
physically, he looked, but the other side of the game, he looked all right. But physically,
exactly,
it was far too easy to get.
And I think George is more...
if you're a YouTube member, the link should be there for you to call if you want to call. If you're a YouTube member, David, I'm not sure. The season tickets should probably be. I mean, they probably want to bring them out after we've won a game, so might be a while. Keith says, I've said this before, so I'll say it again. We need an identity at the stadium. The only songs that are sung relate to our past at Goodison Park, 60s, 70s and 80s, and there would have been new songs from day one. I take your sentiment, mate, but I don't even think we've been singing the songs that we used to sing at Goodison. I think we've lost a big part of our tradition. Like, there's a lot of songs that we don't sing, and also like stupid little things. And I know we did it yesterday, but like when you get the corners and everyone's like Everton, we did it yesterday, but it's little things like that which haven't been adapted or taken into the ground. And I don't know whether that's because the mix isn't there, and I don't know, but I do take your point. Do we need to get like an anthem like Arsenal did? Because that's what sort of they did, because they were accused for 20 years of having a terrible atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then Arteta was like, we need to change this. And they got that anthem, and everyone, all the Arsenal fans seem to love that anthem, even though it sounds absolutely terrible.
Yeah. We have a siren.
Yeah, we do have a siren. Let's not forget that. Dave C says, I love my team to bits, but these days where Moisey makes me want to scream with his strange substitutions. David says, my first experience at Hill Dickinson, Upper South, way too many steps to the seat, very uncomfortable. Never do that again. Get escalators at the rear of the stand. Add on build like they did at the park end. How are they gonna add on, David? There's nowhere to add on.
Add on what?
To put escalators up. There's no where are they gonna add on at the south stand? There's nowhere really to add on to. He says, but seriously, it's not for me ever. Yeah, and I think a lot of people who are in the Upper South are just like, wow, these stairs are far too high. He also says lots of empty seats in the north stand. David Gilbert says, do you not think we should just sing one song like the Spirit of the Blues like they did away a few years ago? Yeah, but no one's doing that, are they? No one's doing that. Keith says, the steepness does not change from south, east or west. I sit in the Upper East. I have around 80 steps to my seat on row 60. Okay? But there is a lot of steps for the Upper South.
I walk
a lot of steps. It's very, very... There's nowhere as steep as the Upper South, I don't think.
No.
Grey Lead says, we're saying last night there should be a defined singing section in the entirety of the Lower South. He also says the night games getting to and from the ground, the food prices, etc. All these things do not put most people in a good, lively mood whatsoever. Well, even that with like the food, why not have special offers on? So people can go straight to the ground and know they can get something to eat.
Yeah, especially on a night game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they get something to eat and go, right, straight to the ground, no messing about. I can get something in the ground, reasonably priced.
Got someone waiting.
Go on, put them on.
Should be able to hear him now.
Guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go on, Graham, go on.
How are you both? Good to check in again. I've just got back, so I've missed the half the show, but hope you guys are okay.
Don't worry, mate, it's been rubbish. Go on.
It's not too surprising, is it? Hey-ho.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to pick up on something that you and the guys were chatting about in your live earlier about how we as a group, so I'm an overseas visitor, I only get to a handful of games per year, so take this with a pinch of salt, but when I came back, I picked the worst two home games to come to. It was the week of the Brentford and Wolves game.
Oh, God,
and the atmosphere was bloody awful. There was me, my son, and about four guys who have obviously been entertaining the bar staff for some time in the stand above the away supporters. And we're trying to get the crowd going for the Wolves game, but it was just the four of us. So I get it that not everyone wants to scream and shout, but we just need to get some ideas together as a fan base as to how we can communicate back to the club in a cohesive way and say, look, this ain't working for us. when we are there.
Yeah.
Whether you're a season ticket holder like yourselves or an overseas visitor like me, we just need to have a channel where we can feed it back in, because, to be honest, that first experience with the Brentford game, put the result to one side, the whole seat unique thing was a bloody debacle, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like they say to us, when you put your email confirmation in, it says, get there early. So we did, and facilities be open 3 hours before and up to an hour afterwards. So we thought, we'd take some advice from here and just say, all right, we'll hang about afterwards and we'll have a pie or something after the game. And we walk out and then everywhere's closed. And they tell us to go to the fan zone at 6 o'clock in the bloody middle of winter and go and get some food there. But we've got our vouchers that we paid for that you get with Seat Unique, and you can't use them. It's like, it was a shambles. The Wolves game was a little bit better. We discovered the waterfront bar. But it's just getting like, how do we as fans get feedback back to the club? Is it just like random social media, just tag them, or should we get a more cohesive, directed channel to them? And can channels like yours help?
Well, I think we can. I mean, we might be getting listen, we might get accused of moaning, but I think this is massively important. I think this is massively important feedback. And if they want to bury their heads in the sand, and I'm not for 1 minute saying they are, then this is all massively important. I think everyone has got to have their say. I think social media's got an important part to play. I'm sure a football club like Everton probably scour social media with, certain, not obviously with one person, but with certain, they must have routes nowadays, probably using AI and stuff, how to gather that feedback and look at trend. Like we on our YouTube. So on our YouTube comments, with the app we use at the back end of YouTube, we can get an AI of all the comments that on a video. We can get an AI synopsis of what people are saying. Now, obviously, that's catered to us, but I'm sure big companies and people like Everton can do something similar now with if you've tagged Everton, or if you've hashtagged Everton, or if you've just mentioned Hill Dickinson. I'm sure they are gathering data all the time, and if they're not, then they should be, because that's where most people feel comfortable in relaying the message of a game of football. Their experience, because ultimately it is an experience. We do have, it's a football fan's not exactly going to go on TripAdvisor, are they, after the game and put in, rating
exactly.
But they're going to go on social media and go, that was bloody awful, that experience, or whatever. They're going to make their feelings known, and as they should. If you've had a bad experience, if you've paid for something and they haven't delivered, you should let them know that hasn't happened. And I think it's the same for football fans. Are totally maligned. I was saying this before. I was using it was sort of not tongue in cheek, but we were talking me and Baz both went to Costco last night for our tea. It's £11 for a pizza. It's we pay a membership of £25-35 for Costco a year, and we go in there, it's a club, and you get cheap food, you can get cheap petrol, you can get whatever else, and we pay £25-35 for that. But I pay £820 for my seat to go to the match, and that's all I get, a seat to watch the match. The match might be good, might be bad, that's what we accept as a football fan, but it's the other stuff as well, though. We don't get, there's no when we go to the game, they don't take, I don't know, there's no discount on, I know there'd be discounts in the club shop and stuff, but there's no discount on anything you want to buy in the ground because you've got a season ticket. And it's all these little things. It's we pay a lot of money, and it's just take it or leave it. Oh, if you don't like it, that's tough. Someone else will take your season. It's no. I think it's about time now that you start listening to us about our feelings on our ground, because it is the first year, and I think it's massively important. So I think it's important that people share their experiences on social media with the fans forum, and it's up to the fans forum then to relay that back to the football club. I think I've said this to the football club. I think there should be a workshop of hundreds of Evertonians who go to the game and start understanding their experiences. And you know what? You might have loads of people who go, I love the ground and I've not had any problems whatsoever. But you might also get a few hundred who go, I'd actually like to swap seats. And you might find that a lot of people might want to swap seats. And what you might find is that it's actually really easy for people to swap seats, because that many people want to swap. that creates a situation where you're like, this isn't hard. He wants to move, boom, that's it. So I think it is important that we're not... This idea that anyone's moaning is nonsense. You've probably paid a pretty penny for those tickets. We've all paid a pretty penny for our tickets. The membership scheme it's made it really difficult to get tickets. We've apparently got 25,000 on the waiting list, yet we can't sell out games. Like,
it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
It is crazy. Just on that one thing of like, apparently there's 25,000 on the waiting list, and yet we haven't sold out this ground once. That blows my mind.
Yeah, same here. It's just like I put in the comments on the YouTube before, like, but it's all quite fixable, right? It's all pretty fixable.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's This is what I always think is like, with communication, everything is fixable. If you've got a problem and you share that problem, they might want. I think this is the other thing is like, if there's a problem, big companies or football clubs, whoever, should want to hear that problem. They should want to know how they can fix that issue. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They should go, oh, we didn't realise. I've like fed back to the club a couple of times of like the bars. So in the South Stand, that bar, after part of the thing of the South Stand is the bar is supposed to stay open after the game. And I've had to feed back a couple of times going, why isn't the bar open? Oh, it is open. Well, it's not. The area's open, but they've decided to shut the bar for whatever reason. Oh, we didn't know. It's like, well, now you do know. Okay, we'll sort that out. And it's like, there's so many little things where it's like, they might think everything's amazing because no one's criticising us. And I think it's just really important to feed back to the club what our experiences are of the new ground. Yeah,
I like 100% agree. Like, we didn't even know at the Brentford game that we could even walk round to the South Stand bar. We walked round there. We got served straight away. The poor guy at the bar, we were trying to get our like £10 vouchers from Seat Unique. Get them paid by scanning the code. They didn't work. The barman there was bloody brilliant. I think his name was Jack as well. I didn't even think of Jack Grealish, but he was absolutely brilliant. He got us a couple of free drinks after chatting with his manager to try and cover it. It was brilliant. But we didn't know any of that. So it was only the fact that the toilets were backed up to the wall in the stand they put us in. And we went for a walk round and suddenly we're at the waterfront bar, and it was absolutely bloody awesome. But I say all fixable. I just need to know where to redirect the feedback, because I say I'm not massive on social media. Is it just you tag the Everton Football Club, or
again? It's really difficult. I'd maybe let the fans forum know, or let or speak to hospitality customer services or whatever. Send an email to them or whatever. I just think all feedback is good feedback. So whichever way is most comfortable for you, as I said. But I think if we all did it, if we all reached out to the football club and just let them know, I think part of these problems, and listen, these aren't the problems that define, or they don't make the team play better, but if it lifts the atmosphere slightly, if it makes it a better experience for you, and you're going into that ground feeling happy, going, well, I've been looked after today, then you're in a better mood, and that it all helps, doesn't it? Surely it
absolutely
all helps.
It's all us 1%ers. It's just like make it a good experience. And as I say, I'm back for the Burnley game, so hopefully things. Well, I'm not expecting massive differences. I'm actually quite fearful of our home form at the moment, but anyhow, I'll be back for that. But it'll be a good trip.
Yeah, nice one, Graham. Thank you for giving us a call.
Cheers, fellas.
Nice one. See you later.
I find all that really interesting.
Yeah.
I just hope the club take initiative of fixing it,
Yeah. Liam says, makes me laugh. Club shouldn't need feedback. All managers need to do is attend the match, and the issues are obvious. They want to do something. They won't do anything until the summer, and even then I'm not confident. I know, Liam, but that's not how the world works, mate. That's not how the world works. We live in a world now where things like TripAdvisor and rating systems are massively important. okay, football's separate from those things, but they do define. If you go now, you go anywhere and you go, oh, you know what, fancy going to a restaurant or whatever. What's the best Italian restaurant in Liverpool? Oh, I'll try and go there because all the reviews are unbelievable. You know, we're such a review heavy, you know, when you go to a restaurant now, the restaurant's like, can you do a review for us? We'll give you 5% off your next meal or something if you do a review. Like, the world now is, everything is based, like, in thing that it works the other way as well. Like, they're so paranoid about upsetting people because they know that you've got the power. The consumer has now got the power to get out there and make their voice heard. And I think as football fans, okay, we don't see ourselves as consumers, but we do have the ability to say, no, this isn't good enough. We expect better because we pay a lot of money to go to the game. Daniel, thank you for the feedback on my shirt. I was telling the lads before that this shirt is older than both of them because this is an original 98. I bought this with my first pay packet when I started working for Merseyrail, and I was very excited. I bought it out the back of like the shoot or the match. It came mail order and I got like the proper name and number on it and everything. So this shirt is actually older than them two.
I have a question.
Go on.
If you order from a magazine, how's that work?
Well, the same way that you order from the internet now.
No, because you can't put your card into a magazine.
How do you pay?
Yeah.
I think.
Do you post the money?
No, I think it might have had. I think there might have been. I can't remember. You know, that's a really good question. Like the internet was there, and I might have gone on the internet, but I can't remember because I didn't really have a. I don't know. It's a good question actually, but a lot of the time you sent some places you just sent a check.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but it's not. It's a Del Piero shirt. He was number 10. Roberto Baggio was number 18 in that World Cup.
What's your favourite football shirt that you own, like, ever?
Italy in 1996 Euro shirt. I have a version of it over there, a Maldini one. Yeah, there was all mad ways to pay. You could like go to the post office and get like postal orders, or I mean, you could pay with your card. Yeah, that's my favourite shirt of all time.
Nice.
That's my favourite shirt of all time. You could pay with your card. Postal orders, checks. Check would be the big one. So you'd send. So in a magazine,
I don't understand how checks work.
Yeah, like you write your name, number.
So what you might do
it,
is on the thing. What you might do is there might have been like a slip where you'd cut it out, and then you'd enter what the order number was.
Yeah.
And then you'd write the check payable to whatever company it was. You'd put how much it was, and then you put that like in a. There's these things that we used to have called letters, and you'd put that letter in the post, and then the check would go in, and then obviously they'd put the check in, and if you had the money in your bank, they'd take the money out your bank, and then I can't believe I'm explaining checks to people.
But let's not take. Yeah, but checks. What's stopping someone from just taking your check and just saying, "Yeah, he's paying that to me"?
Well, if you sent nothing really, I mean, checkbook fraud used to be quite a big thing.
Because
know what you used to be able to do?
If you can.
No,
it just seems dead easy that you could just rob anyone.
Well, know what you used to be able to do?
Yeah.
Right. So if you had a checkbook and a card, right?
Yeah.
You could go somewhere, write the check to cash, give it to someone like in a shop and something, and it'd be like cash back. They'd give you the cash.
So what happens if you didn't have money in your account?
Well, the card was like your guarantee, but yeah.
Oh well, thank God for the internet.
I can't believe I've just had to. Don't get me wrong, it's so much easier now.
It seems like a flawed system.
It was a flawed system, and that's why that system no longer exists. But you know what it did do, James?
What?
It kept people in jobs. Because now we don't even have. Now we don't even have banks, do we?
No.
All the banks have gone.
I think I've been in a bank once in my life.
That's crazy.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Have you been in a bank once? I think I went to
I've
get my
been-
debit cards when I was like 14. And that's
Wait. So, you've been to the bank more often than you've been on motorways?
I've been on a motorway before. It's just I have been draft.
Oh well, that was yesterday's story. Oh,
Incredible. There you go. The Man United owners also just revealed that he's an absolute massive racist, which is interesting.
what?
Yeah, it's a true story.
What did he do? Allegedly.
No, he's done it in an interview. He's just revealed that he's a massive racist, in my opinion. Yeah. Daniel, it is. Yeah, but that's good though. It's not a knockoff and it's not a reproduction. It's not a DH. This is a proper, and you can tell it actually. It's got a heaviness to it, and it's just a box shirt. I was saying to these before that like '98 was like the first time when Nike, they had Brazil, they had Holland, and we've got the Holland and the Nike and the Brazil shirts over there. They did like, and Nigeria, and they done those three teams, and they did like a full range. And I don't know if anyone's old enough, anyone's my age. The top floor on Wade Smith, yes, the one with the climbing wall. They just had all of this Nike gear for the World Cup, and it was all just like, honestly, if like I could go back in time and buy it all, it was all incredible.
I miss the times when, like, for me, it was football boots when I was younger, and I just love.
Mate, I used to buy a
boots.
pair of football boots every like 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Literally. And I bought a pair of Predator once,
Yeah.
and they were it was the 2000 Predator. So I skipped the 98 ones and I got the 2000, the Euro 2000 ones. And I managed to buy them a day early because I had a football tournament on the Sunday. And I bought them a day early because I paid with cash
Yeah.
from a shop called All Sports in town. And I played in them on the Sunday. And they had this weird rubbery insole. And I just didn't like the fit. And I just gave them away to me, mate. They were 120 quid. And that was like 120 quid would be like, I'd say probably like 250 now, kind of boots. And I just gave them to me, mate. I went, nah. And I think I went on holiday to Tenerife and I bought a pair of R9 Nike Mercurials in a Foot Locker in Tenerife. And I went, I'm wearing these now. And I just give the Predators away to me, mate. I bought a pair of Ronaldo Nike boots, Mercurial ones, silver ones. I bought them mail order from America. Right, it must have took 6 weeks to get here.
Yeah.
And when they got here, they were slightly too small. I couldn't send them back. I wore them. You should give me blisters literally every time I wore them. And then honestly, I used to just change my boots every 3 months. And the boots I had would be worth an absolute fortune now if I'd kept hold of them and just like kept them safe. But you don't think
James,
like that.
do you remember the hype when the football boots came out with the sock?
Yeah. The sock one. That was and the laceless ones.
Yeah, the Adidas. Yeah.
Daniel, it fits me perfect because I'm probably lighter now than I was in 1998. So it fits me absolutely. I wouldn't wear it if it didn't fit me. It fits me absolutely perfectly. So,
What's the deal with Italy though?
because I'm Italian, can't you tell? Everyone knows this. My great grandmother from Italy. Can't you tell?
That was like The Office.
Like, I know it's like proper like.
Like I was the cow.
No, yeah. It's like this guy
Get a load
here,
of this guy.
this guy here.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah. Me great grandmother's from Italy.
Your great grandma or your great grandma's dog's neighbour's cat?
No, my great grandma was from Italy.
Was she 100% Italian?
She was 100% Italian.
Oh wait,
A grave is like just down the road down there, and it's got on it. Like it's got all the Italian. Do you show on a chippy? You're Italians are on the chippy, and
So if you're Italian and it's your great grandma and my mum's British, I'm like a gazillion % British.
I'm not. I'm like, listen, it's a very small percentage, but I'd rather be a little bit more. I'd rather be a little bit Italian than a lot British.
Yeah.
No, a lot English. I don't mind being called British, but being called English,
No,
I'm not. I don't have it. British, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
British, I'm fine with. I can live with that
Yeah.
because I can sort of pull a little bit from Scotland and a little bit of from Wales and stuff. But I'm not English. I don't class.
I said British.
I don't class.
didn't say
No,
English.
you did. It's a fair point.
So-
I don't class myself as English.
John said the same thing.
No, I don't.
John's the opposite.
Yeah.
When I first met John, he said, "Oh, you had to fill out my forms. Oh, English."
No, I don't class myself as English. Educate yourself. Right. See you later.